Hi everyone. Crime is everywhere. Wherever we look, we find criminals and crime. Criminals have become a part of our daily lives. Does this mean we let them be the darkness of our society? No, the answer is definitely not. Eliminating crime and criminals is our duty, and we cannot ignore it. Getting the rightly accused to a just punishment is very important. Some criminals commit a crime because they have no other option to survive, but some do it for fun. I do not advocate death penalty for everyone. A person who stole bread from a grocery store definitely does not deserve the death penalty. However, a serial killer who kills people for fun and for his personal gain definitely deserves the death penalty. This penalty should continue in order to eliminate the garbage of our society. Not everybody deserves to die, but some people definitely do. I support the death penalty because of two reasons. First, I believe that the death penalty serves as a deterrent and helps in reducing crime. Secondly, it is true that the death penalty is irreversible, but it is hard to kill a wrongly convicted person due to several chances given to the convicted to prove his innocence. Deterrence means to punish somebody as an example and to create fear in the people for the punishment. The death penalty is one of those extreme punishments that would create fear in the mind of any one person. Everybody fears death, even animals. Most criminals would think twice if they knew their own lives were at stake. Although there is no statistical evidence that death penalty deters crime, we have to agree that most of us fear death. Suppose there is no death penalty in a state and life imprisonment without parole is the maximum punishment. What is stopping a prisoner who is facing a life imprisonment without parole to commit another murder in the prison? There is no stopping these inmates from committing further crimes within the prison if they are already facing the maximum punishment. Anti-death penalty advocates argue that imprisonment itself could deter criminals. They believe that they do not need to go to the extreme measure of killing the criminals to deter crime. Unfortunately, the ever-increasing population in the prisons prove otherwise. Somehow, just the imprisonment is not enough for some people to stop them from committing crime. The number of criminals is increasing every year. Criminals may think that they would never be caught and just keep committing crimes. The perfect example for this would be serial killers. For such people, the death penalty should be there so that others who even think about committing such crimes learn a lesson that every criminal is eventually caught. Anti-death penalty advocates believe that the death penalty is irreversible and may become a cause of irreversible mistakes. Once a person has been sentenced to the death penalty and thus death penalty practice, there is nothing that can be done to undo the punishment if the accused turns out to be innocent. I agree that the death penalty is irreversible, but the chance of making a mistake in the death penalty is extremely low. The death penalty is considered an extreme punishment, and the judicial system takes a lot of care in finalizing the decision. There are several safeguards guaranteeing protection of the rights of those facing the death penalty. There are several other privileges provided to the convicted that assure the death penalty is given to the rightly accused person. Statistics reveal that there is far less number of death sentences than life imprisonments without parole given out every year. This shows that the judicial system itself is very careful with death sentences. Even if we assume that there are chances that an innocent person is executed, it is the problem with the trial, not the punishment. When an innocent person is sentenced to death, it is not the fault of the punishment itself, but the trial that led to this punishment. There have been several cases in which a person has been sentenced to life imprisonment without parole, and then after several years it was revealed that the person was innocent. No court or compensation in this world can return the horrifying years spent in prison by that innocent person. If we stop giving life imprisonment sentences to criminals on this ground, then probably most criminals would be walking around free on the streets within 10 to 15 years. The fear and trust that the society has in the judicial system would be lost. The judicial system has minimized the chances of mistakes. It is also almost impossible to sentence a wrongly accused person. Then why cause death of several innocent victims just on the bleak assumption that someday we might make a mistake? Incapacitating a person is depriving she or he of the physical or intellectual power of the nature of illegal or legal qualifications. The death penalty is not advocated for all criminals. Those criminals who commit murders during self-defense or during times of passion do not deserve the death penalty. However, those people who just do not seem to learn the lesson the first time, or those who kill for fun, definitely deserve it. Defendants are allowed to shield themselves from the justice by pleading insanity. Insanity means a failure to respond to the usual sort of incentives in the usual sorts of ways. If insane people are completely unresponsive to incentives, then their profits serve no social purpose, thus leading to another beneficial factor of the death penalty. People who have no social purpose do not benefit society, culture of mankind, or the basic rules of humanity. Where do we draw the line between mentally incapable and criminally insane? When are they going to learn to resume responsibility of their actions? I'm not saying that all mentally disabled people should be subjected to the death penalty because they are no good to the society. However, some people pose a great fatal danger to the society in such a cruel way as seen in some cases. In such cases, death penalty becomes crucial for the benefit of society. I believe that every criminal, no matter how cruel he is, should be given at least one chance to change. Thus, I do not advocate death penalty for those people who have performed only one illegal act. However, there have been cases in which people committed several murders or have committed the crime even after imprisonment. For such people, I advocate the death penalty. There needs to be a limit to which society should put up to. If someone does not understand that going around killing people is wrong, then I believe that letting such people live is not only a great threat to society, but also a great burden. Some people might think that the death penalty is inhumane and barbarous, but ask those people who have ever lost a loved one or whose lives have ever been tied to a hospital bed because of some barbarous person. I am sure they will be very unhappy to see the person who ruined their lives just getting a few years of imprisonment or mere rehabilitation. Consider the example of a rapist and killer. Now, suppose the woman raped was your wife, sister, or daughter. How would you feel knowing the person who ruined your family is calmly enjoying the benefits of an asylum or an air-conditioned room? Anti-death penalty supporters believe that the death penalty is barbarous. Well, so is murder. Death penalty is not revenge. Rather, it is a matter of putting an end to a life that has no value for other human lives. Sentencing a murderer to death is in fact a favor to the society. Despite the moral argument concerning the inhumane treatment of the criminal, we return to the nature of the crime committed. Can society place an unequal weight on the tragically lost lives of the murder victims and the criminal? This is not an exam question in a college philosophy course, but a moral question at the core of perhaps the most intriguing issue facing the U.S. Supreme Court today.